Hey guys, so if you're a dentist right now and you're looking for that extra little bit to elevate your game so that you can have that practice of your dreams, this video is for you because I'm going to share with you three big ideas so that you can think more like an entrepreneur. The reality is, if you're driven and you're even drawn to a video like this, it's because you're looking for every little bit of an edge that you can have. And you probably hold yourself accountable and responsible for what it is you can do daily, weekly, and monthly to accomplish your goals. If that is you, I do want to honor you because dentistry is just downright difficult. I've gone over this before, but it's something I completely believe. Here you are, and you have to commit to clinical excellence and being the best clinically, and at the same time, juggle a small business and handling the chaos that business brings. You know, it's like this dance between the science of dentistry and the art of business and the ways in which they interplay against each other. It's just downright crazy. So let's jump into the video and share those three big ideas that can help elevate your own entrepreneurial mindset. So before I introduce the first idea, again, if you're anything like me, you probably have really big dreams, and you probably love dreaming, and you have lots of ambition. The problem is, what I've realized is that the limit to dreams really isn't about your capabilities or your abilities, because again, I'm sure you have a lot of confidence in who you are. The limit to dreams is about awareness. So let's dive right into the first big idea. Conceive, then believe. And what that means is that my guess is that your dreams are limited by your ability to conceive what is possible out there. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'll read a book or I'll hear a teaching on YouTube, and all of a sudden it'll be something completely out of the box, and instantly my mind just starts going. You learn about something and then you're like, I wonder how I could do that, or I wonder if I would be able to, start that program or lead that initiative or implement that new brand strategy. And it's mainly an issue of awareness. I couldn't even conceive of that idea. I couldn't even conceive of that possibility or of that outcome. So therefore, my dreams weren't limited by my lack of belief in myself or those around me, but in what I was aware of. So I want to challenge you to continue to just go after innovative thought leaders in other industries. Read some of what Harvard Business Press puts out. Read some of the best thought leaders. There's some really great ones in Switzerland that right now are just bringing so much innovation. And the point of that is what? It's to expand your horizon. It's to allow you to be able to conceive of a much larger dream and your role in it. So the big takeaway here is focus on being able to conceive more and then believe in what you're doing. Because so often we start with, do I have the confidence? Do I have the abilities? And we're just thinking about what we possess. And my challenge to you is, until you realize what some of those interesting business models are, what some of the trends are that are bringing disruptions in other industries, you may not realize, wow, you could be a pioneer of that change in dentistry. So big idea number one, conceive, then believe. Okay, on to big idea number two. Follow the pain. Now, this has to do with value. In the last video, I went over those 5 big mindsets that every entrepreneur just needs to have. And one of them is that value wins. But when it comes to thinking of how you can create value, the number one almost like magnet to finding value is by following the pain. What is it that you're going through and experiencing pain with day to day, each week, each month, at the end of the year when you're journaling and reflecting? What is it that's driving you crazy? Is it relationships with insurance companies? Is it the fact that you're paying too much in supplies? Is it the fact that all of a sudden there's high team turnover? following the pain can be the fastest way to identify where you can find value. So in my own life, the way that this principle has completely just revolutionized the way I approach business is, as many of you know, I started by developing an amazing electric toothbrush. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't really want to compete with other electric toothbrushes product to product because that's a very saturated marketplace. Do I really want to be going against P&G, who has this multi-million-dollar ad budgets? I didn't. So as I'm talking to my dental friends, as I'm talking to people in the community, I'm finding out their pain isn't which electric toothbrush they're offering to their patients. Their pain is which patients are coming back. Their pain is, how do I differentiate myself and really add uncommon value to my patients? Their pain was, how do I elevate the patient experience so that I can develop loyal patients that absolutely love my practice? And you see, when I followed the pain, that's how I arrived at what Zana is today. So that's why that's a very personal, big idea for me as far as a big entrepreneurial shift in my thinking. Just follow the pain. So on to the last big takeaway, and that is assess your strengths. Now, this is specifically actually in response to not just like you personally, but think of your practice. You know, right now, as a practice owner, you might be like, you know what? I know the ways in which I'm not as good of a leader, or I don't possess the resources. And let's just say you compare yourself to a DSO, your practice to a DSO, and you're thinking, oh man, like how do I measure up? What is a DSO? The DSO has access to what? Fortune 500 management at the top that has experience leading, again, other Fortune 500 brands and companies. Okay. What else do they have? They have access to first-rate agencies with million-dollar ad spends. Now, between the management or the executive team and between these agencies, both of them have access to big data where they can actually get really meaningful insights, not just access to the big data, but meaningful insights that allow them to deliver timely ads to your patients that are designed at one thing: breaking loyalty. So I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but it's like, this is one of the things you're up against. So it's like, well, how is it that my practice has a strength when I'm looking at a DSO? Well, one thing that DSO has that you don't have, which is a good thing, depending on how you look at it, is they have a board. Now, do you have a board? No, chances are you do not have a board that you have to report to. And that is a good thing, because that board is accountability that does a few different things. First of all, as a DSO that is accountable to their investors, you have to minimize risk everywhere you go, which means the second you kind of get some sort of stake in the market, you are then playing to protect that stake. Look, you don't have much to risk, so you have agility. You don't have to answer to a board of investors, which means you have freedom to innovate, to make quick decisions. I think of it when in terms of investing. If you had $5,000 to invest versus $1 million, well, $5,000, first of all, you're going to think, well, gosh, that's not even going to get me any ROI. What's the point? But that is the point. If you had $5,000 to invest, you wouldn't mind investing it into practically anything, because you could be as risky as you wanted, because you have a lot less to lose than if you had $1 million you had to invest. Now all of a sudden you got to be careful, because you don't want to spoil that. You don't want to ruin that. In the same exact way, a DSO has a really big rudder. They have a big place in the marketplace already, and they have investors and a board that they need to report to, which also means they're thinking about the next quarterly return. They're thinking about immediacy, the next quarterly return, the figures we have to protect. And all of that you can play to your advantage, because that means you have a small rudder. That means you can assume a lot more risk. That means you can think outside the box. That means you can access your network of other professionals that you know and go, wait a second, what if the 2 or 3 of us got together and formed this or started this? Shout out to Chad Duplantis and the other team at Dinks, Dennis and the Know. That's exactly what they did. They're like, you know what? There's 3 of us. Let's form a Facebook group and let's start leading. Let's start influencing. Let's start pioneering. Again, I honor that entrepreneurial spirit that the dentists at Dinks have. So what's another strength of yours? Maybe it's your reputation. Maybe it's the trust you have. When it comes to the strength you have to your patients, it's you. It's your brand. It's your passion. It's your heart. It's your personality. The DSO doesn't have that. They have this corporate image. They have this, I don't even know what you would want to call it, but it's not personal. Patients are longing for personal. They're longing for connection. They're longing for something that's real. They want to share a story that's real. That is massively to your advantage. So again, you have so many strengths right now. Even if you only own one location, you're new into dentistry, assess your strengths and realize that you can be agile. You can move quickly. You can innovate quickly. You can assume a lot more risk. You can implement 5, 10, 15 different initiatives this year and learn. That puts you at a massive advantage. And again, if this is something you're like, oh, wow, Shawn, you seem pretty passionate about this. Well, I am, because it's exactly what I did. When you're going against Sonicare or you're going against Oral-B, I could look at, again, their ad budgets and go, okay, I can't compare. I could look at the executive team that they have and go, okay, how am I going to compete with that? I could look at the size of their channels, their backing, all these things and go, wow, why would I compete with them? Or I could assess my strengths and go, you know what? They're risk averse right now. You know what? They're focused on retail. You know what? They, again, are catering to the people that they're actually partnered with, which is Walmart, Costco, and Amazon. Me, I am here in dentistry. So all of a sudden, when you start realizing the points of differentiation that you have, you can own that. Own your strengths. You're nimble, you're out of the box, you're innovative, you can lead, you can pioneer, you can make quick decisions. You can start a podcast, you can start a blog, you can write a book. You can do things today that are going to make it so that you have more influence, or you get to where you want to in 6 months, or you get further along building that practice of your dreams. Once again, guys, this video, it's not for that dentist that's just kind of wanting to continue to fit in or follow the crowd. If you're wanting to innovate, you're wanting to pioneer, and you're wanting to think differently so that you can be part of that change in dentistry that's going to make dentistry great over the next 10 years, then again, my hope is that these 3 big ideas could help you along your journey. Thanks, guys.